Skadoosh ASMR Heavy. Hello there, it's me, your best bud with the ASMR goods. Hope this video finds you well. Hope this video finds you. Hope this video finds you well. We are back with another Monday night movie club. Today we are doing Gladiator. I had watched it before not that long ago that I watched it for the first time, and yeah, it's an interesting film. I never watched it, but yeah, second time I watching it for this, and it's a very good period piece for sure. It's got a very good. I've really rated the story. We'll get into that. As ever though, we've got the colouring page. We've got our Spider-Man 72 coloured pencils, 72 coloured pencils, 72 coloured pencils, 72 coloured pencils. Yeah, this is Gladiator. It's a historical epic about Roman general, which I assume this is who that's supposed to be in this picture, kind of, loosely. Maximus Meridius Glauber. I gotta check that. But he'll have his vengeance in this life or the next. But anyway, he's betrayed by the Emperor's son, Commodus. He murders his father and condemns Maximus to death. Starting heavy. Maximus does escape though. Not without having his wife and son murdered. Crazy. He was then picked up by, and I didn't really gather what that was supposed to be, to be honest. Was it just, I don't know if it's supposed to just be a travelling party of some kind, and they just picked him up. I didn't really question it at the time, but I'm questioning it now. As to why they just picked him up and made him a slave, basically. Anyway, that happened. As a plot, maybe it's a plot point. I'm not sure. I might have been a thing at the time that people were, if they were just around like that and they were there for the taking, people just took them and sold them. I don't know. Anyway, he's becomes a slave basically then because of that. Then he gets sold to what turns out to be an ex-gladiator who trains gladiators, and that gives him his chance to seek vengeance against Commodus. Ultimately fighting in the Colosseum, which is the aim is the Colosseum. The game is the Colosseum for Gladiator anyway. And the film explores themes of loyalty, revenge, honour. And maybe even the most interesting thing is the corrupting influence of power. The influence of power. Ultimately, though, spoiler alert, if you didn't already gather, but this film's, when did it come out? I think that's where I seen it when it came out. 2000, around 2000, I think. Maybe even 2000. So yeah, it's 25 years old now, if that's the case. It's a classic. You should have, it's aged enough to be a classic now, pretty much. You should have watched it if you were going to watch it. Anyway, he does get the chance to confront Commodus. Despite getting his revenge in what is quite an epic finale, crescendo, he does succumb to wounds of his own, but that inspires the people of Rome to fulfill what was the original emperor's, what was his name? I forget the emperor's name. The original emperor's, ultimate vision after he passed. So it all kind of works out in the end, and he gets reunited with his family. Is the thought process anyway. So kind of interesting. But yeah, we'll get into it. Before we get into the next bit, and extra colouring and then some facts and maybe doing some quotes and stuff. We'll see. But if you have any suggestions for videos and you would like me to have a little go at it, anything specific, maybe even a little bit crazy, you can do that. All you have to do is hit me in the comment section down below. Hit me in the comments and I'll have a little go for you. Each comment I endeavour to try, as long as it's not too crazy. A little crazy is okay. A little crazy is okay, but not too crazy. A little crazy, that's okay. I can give that a go still. But either way, if you got any thoughts or suggestions, the worst you can do is put it down, and instead of giving it a go, I say no. But I'll say straight. I'll see it and I'll probably tell you, and potentially offer you a revision. Be like, oh, I can't do that, but you know what I could do is, and then blah blah, etc. Yeah. Slight side note is I haven't found a sharpener yet, so all the ones I used last time, which I'm thinking won't be too required in this, so it should be okay. Yeah, but we'll get into it now. We'll get into it. I feel like the main clue I need something a bit like this, a bit goldy looking. What I'll do for this next 10 minutes, if you're an enjoyer of the pencil-y type sounds, for the next 5 to 10 minutes I will just do the colouring and not do too much talking. Although apologies if you can hear some outside influence sounds. I've got some neighbours doing some home improvements, shall we say, so there's a bit of drilling. It shouldn't be too much though. knocked you there. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I'm struggling. What colour do you do the guy? Because I feel like he'd be something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm a bit terrible with colours. And also, what colour was the Colosseum itself? Do we try this? Different coloured brown. So it was a smash hit. The 2000. It was released in 2000. It was a smash, revitalising the Swords and Sandals epic. Russell Crowe plays Maximus. Very well, to be fair. Rate it. I'm pretty sure it's Joaquin Phoenix or Jao Quinn or however you want to say it. Different ways, different cultures. Plays the bad guy. Very well too, to be fair. For the opening sequence, it's directed by Ridley Scott, in case you was wondering as well. For opening sequence, film starts in Northern Europe in 180 AD, where the Roman Empire go into battle with the Germanian tribes. It's a huge battle sequence with hundreds of extras, explosions and fire. And Ridley Scott actually found a bit of luck here. The sequence is filmed in Bourne Woods, Surrey, in England. Oh yeah? Interesting, could go there. And the Royal Forestry Commission had slated the area for deforestation. Ridley Scott heard about it and offered them the studio's services to burn the place to the ground as long as they could film it. Interesting. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Maximus's pets are pretty significant. By the end of the first act, we've found out that Maximus has 2 horses back home. Ah, yeah, he talks about them later in the film. They engraved on Maximus's armor breastplate, and he tells us that they're called Argento. I swear it's Argentina. And Scarto, translated from Latin. Argento means silver and Scarto means trigger. Silver was the name of the Lone Ranger's horse, and Trigger was the name of Roy Rogers' horse. Anyway, hopefully you're enjoying this video. I could ask you, are you not entertained? But maybe it's better if I say, are you chilled? Are you relaxed? In battle sequence, when Maximus says strength and honor to his troops in the battle sequence, that wasn't in the script apparently. Oh yeah, the reason that Ridley Scott took on the thing in the first place was because of a painting apparently. They showed him a painting from 1872 by a French painter called Jean-Léon Gérôme. It's called Police Verso, which means thumbs down, and shows a gladiator standing over a beaten opponent. You wanna see it? You wanna see it? This is where I'm getting these facts. So if they're wrong, blame all the right movies, yeah. That's the picture there. Thumbs down. And the gladiator over standing his beaten opponent. Interesting. Apparently Ridley Scott wanted it to be as realistic as possible in its depiction of the era, which I can't reference whether or confirm or deny if that's true. I wasn't there at the time, so 2,000 years ago I wasn't there, so I can't say if that's true. True to the piece or not. Even historians can't say super accurately, I don't believe, because like I say, without being there, who knows? Like, look at all the fake stuff on social media these days. In 1,000 years' time, people might think that was real. People think it's real now, so people will definitely think it's real in the future. For sure, for sure. Apparently there was other roles up for the other names up for the role of Maximus Decimus Meridius. That was his name. I got it wrong earlier. Maximus Decimus Meridius. Maximus Decimus Meridius. Maximus Decimus Meridius. So it wasn't always going to be Russell Crowe. Apparently, Ridley Scott cast Russell Crowe after seeing him in Romper Stomper, a 1992 Australian drama. And he said, that's somebody worth watching that. Apparently, the rumours of most note were Mel Gibson being offered the role and turned it down because he thought he was too old to play it. Also considered to play Maximus were Hugh Jackman and Antonio Banderas. It's one of those things where now I feel like I think any of those would have probably done a good job still, so it doesn't matter, but it's like any film, like Russell Crowe made it his own, and through the power of time, I don't think anyone would see anybody else doing it now, if that makes sense. Apparently Russell Crowe was convinced to play it by another famous, by Michael Mann apparently. Apparently Russell Crowe was also not a fan of the script, and that he would frequently walk off the set and initially say the line, I would have my vengeance in this life or the next. Apparently he didn't want to say that. Apparently Russell Crowe told screenwriter William Nicholson, your lines are garbage, but I'm the greatest actor in the world. And I can make even garbage sound good. That's true, that's quite funny. Arrogant, but funny. I'm not really sure what colour the Colosseum's supposed to be, to be honest. It's like a stone colour in like a sandy stone colour in this film. I'm the greatest actor in the world, and I can make garbage sound good. That's good. Well, apparently William Nicholson said later that his lines were garbage. I thought it was alright. I don't think anything of it at the time when I was watching it, so. That's crazy though, that line now, which I don't know if it was as iconic at the time, but through some TikToks, it seems the way these days with our culture, it's crazy, innit? But through some TikToks, has become pretty iconic. I'll have this, my vengeance in this life for the next. Father to a murdered son, and all that, and a murdered wife, and whatever. So this is pretty odd. It seems iconic-ish now. Apparently playing the role took its toll on Russell Crowe. Over the course of the action scenes, he lost all feeling in his right forefinger for 2 years afterwards. He also aggravated his Achilles, broke his foot, cracked his hip, and popped some bicep tendons out of their socket. That's crazy. Apparently, Joaquin Phoenix wasn't convinced by his own performance. And to me, I actually think that was one of the best parts. He really played a bastard character very well. It's my opinion anyway. Grovelling, snivelling, I should be in charge and all that. Could have done without the weird stuff with his sister and that, but I don't know if that was a thing at the time. Apparently Jude Law was also considered for the role of what's the Commodus. Oh, I missed that pillar. Also, how epic would it have been back then to see the Colosseum in person? I'm not seeing it in person now, but imagine seeing it back then. Would have been crazy. Also, when they was doing I also think it's really interesting how did they actually, like when someone was inside and they was doing the speaking, or the announcement of like this is this battle and this battle or whatever, could actually the whole everyone there hear him? Because it's definitely too big for the voice to carry, but maybe it was clever with acoustics or something. But if not, no one's hearing it in the back. You know what I mean, barely like 50 people away. You're not hearing it. In my opinion, anyway. If you're wondering why I'm doing a bit of messy-esque colouring, after the last one I realised I'm not that good at colouring anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And you can't really tell when it's like over there how good it turned out. So it's not too important, but I feel like this makes a better sound than when I was like this. Makes it more abrasive and therefore a bit louder of a sound. So, and I'm not an artist, so it doesn't really matter how good it is. But like I say, I feel like it turns out okay from there. From where the camera is, you're not really looking too much at what's going on. Still stuck on what colour to do the guy. Kind of need like a light like bronze. Apparently, Joaquin Phoenix felt so out of his depth that he offered to pay the producers back for his hotel and travel if they let him walk away from the movie. And before filming the scenes with Crowe, he would ask Russell Crowe to slap him about a bit to psych him up for the film. What the hell? Crowe said to him, "Why don't you try acting, you little maggot? Why don't you try acting, you little maggot?" Phoenix said, "Oh, that was good. Can we go now?" What the hell? Apparently, Phoenix was so intense in the role that immediately after filming the scene where Commodus kills Marcus Aurelius, by squeezing the life of him, Phoenix passed out on the set. Crazy. Crowe spoke to Richard Harris, who played Marcus Aurelius, about Phoenix and said, What am I going to do with this kid who keeps asking me to abuse him before takes?" And Harris said, "Let's get him pissed." And they took him for a few points at Guinness. That's a good story. Apparently, Ridley Scott told Phoenix he had to lose some weight. Midway through the production, Scott was looking at the data and noticed Phoenix was noticeably chunkier. He spoke to Phoenix about it, and Phoenix said, "Yes, I'm a little fat." Why are these quotes? Yes, I'm a fat little hamster. Why wouldn't I be? I'm the Emperor of Rome. Scott told him to lose some weight immediately, which Phoenix did. The real life of Commodus may have been even more ruthless than the movie version. Unlike Maximus, Commodus is based on a real life person, the former Emperor of Rome, and it seems the real Commodus was just as merciless. He was born to a mother who slept with a gladiator and then bathed in said gladiator's blood. And because of this, Commodus referred to himself as the Gladiator Emperor and would fight in the Colosseum. Whenever he fought, his opponent would be stabbed in the back before the fight, which happens in the film. Where Maximus Commodus would also take people with disabilities into the Colosseum area, tie them together, and club them to death. This guy is deranged. And he was such a megalomaniac that he renamed Rome to be called Colonia Commodonia, and he began charging the state for his appearance in the Colosseum. He charged him so much that the value of the Roman currency fell, and historians say this is what directly led to the fall of the Roman Empire. Commodus was eventually killed for his indiscretions. He was poisoned when in the bath, and when he vomited up the poison, he was strangled by a wrestler named Narcissus. In the first draft, apparently that was the name of that's what Maximus could have been called instead in the first draft of Gladiator. Oliver Reed was typically eccentric on the set. A bodybuilding legend could have made an appearance, apparently. Tigris the Gaul is played by Sven Ol Thorsen, a Danish bodybuilder and former World's Strongest Man winner. He wasn't originally cast, and initially the role went to Lou Figaro, the guy that plays the Hulk. The tigers were real. Imagine getting those tigers in that part, that scene. That'd be crazy. So yeah, during the tiger fight, the bit where they tried to use the tigers to sabotage Maximus. They had 5 tigers on the set, and for safety reasons they had an expert on hand with a gun loaded with a tranquilizer dart. The tigers weren't supposed to be allowed within 15 feet of Russell Crowe, but due to a miscalculation, the biggest tiger, which was 11 foot long, got within 2 feet of him and swiped at him. That shot is in the film. A key part of the Colosseum fights was incorrectly based on reality. The thumbs up, thumbs down thing is what they're on about, I think. Where they decide whether they die or live. In reality, it was actually the other way around. Thumbs up meant death. Yeah, that makes sense. Because it was all about the blood in that, so. the positive in that sense makes more sense than it to be the non-positive for the actual Glad. If you've got this fire, shout out to you. And if you like this film, you should think about watching Spartacus. I think it was a HBO series back in it's a while ago now. It ran for like 3, 4, 5 seasons. Although that's got a sad story attained to it, where the main character I'm pretty sure he got like cancer or something. The guy who plays the main character, and so they had to like change him after the second series or third series or something. I remember it at the time, but I don't remember this enough to be definite about it. But anyway, it's really good. If you like this film, if you like Gladiator, you will love Spartacus. I think it's called Blood on the Sands or something like that. Or they had a few different series of it in it. Each one was called something. They had like a few different names. Like I say, if you like this, you'll love that. If anything, I'd say some of the fight scenes in that in Spartacus are better than this. And that was a TV show, whereas this is a film. Which usually means it's more grandiose, whereas this, which this was, but as ever, it's not the best, but you know what? I'm not going to hate on it too much. It's come together all right. You know what's missing there? And I should have put it in from the start. I'm just going to keep the guy non-coloured so it stands out a bit. But I'm going to do like some blood. Because if he's been in there, which is the impression, he'd have like some kind of blood on him. Other people's, mainly, but yeah, especially the arm. Like I feel like he'd run down the arm so much. Anyway, another trash drawing. I feel like that'll do, Donkey. That'll do that. We'll finish off with some more interesting facts. The remaining facts that we've got. The writing of the film was decades in the making, apparently. David Franzoni, John Logan and William Nicholson, but they weren't a writing team. They worked on the movie separately. Of course it took ages. Apparently they started developing it in 1970. Crazy. So yeah, it's a long time coming. There was issues with the script. I feel like that's just the thing with every film. I think every film just has issues, and they have to redo it over and over. Oh yeah, the Hans Zimmer soundtrack is pretty epic as well. I'm not gonna lie. Which is crazy. You can, but at the same time, it is epic. But you can also see how much Hans Zimmer has come along and developed. Some big music names had their part to play too. But legendary operatic Luciano Pavarotti lost to sing the song, but he said no. Oliver Reed passed away during filming 3 weeks before production, and is a legendary Hellraiser. He died in a pub during a break in shooting after drinking 8 pints of German lager, a dozen shots of rum, half a... Who's that? Who is that? Let's check who that is. Oh yeah, this guy. That's great. That's sad. That's sad. It's sad that RIP to him, and everyone else has passed since. The Austrian Oak could have made an appearance. Reed ended up being posthumously nominated for an Oscar, but when the film was first announced, Scott didn't want Ollie Reed for Proximo. He wanted somebody else. Arnold. I want a big Arnie. Get to the chopper. Get to the Coliseum. Yeah, in that last bit where he's like, get to the horse. Get out of here, Maximus. Get to the horse. The ending was originally very different. The film ends with Juba burying the figurines of Maximus in the Colosseum before heading back to his family in Africa. Originally, before the death of Oliver Reed, it was supposed to be Proximo burying the figures in the sand, which makes sense. Also, Maximus didn't die in the original versions of the script, and Scott and Crowe changed it on set. Crowe later said, I remember Ridley coming up to me on set saying, look, the way this is shaping up, I don't see how you live. The character's about one act of pure vengeance for his wife and child. And once he's accomplished that, what does he do? Does he end up running a pizzeria by the Colosseum? That's a good line. Yeah, makes sense. The film was better for him to go in that moment. The film was better. The film had an impact on the popularity of ancient Rome. Away from Hollywood, Gladiator had a direct impact on the increased interest in Roman history, particularly in the US after it was released. The New York Times called it the Gladiator effect, and books like Cicero's biography and Marcus Aurelius's Meditations received massive spikes in sales. An iconic UK soap character is in the film. Going back to the start of the movie, we find out the first act of Maximus is a pet wolf called Kite. In real life, Kite wasn't a wolf, he was actually a Belgian German Shepherd. They couldn't use a real wolf because the opening was filmed in England, which had strong anti-rabies laws. Kite also played another famous screen dog. Oh my god, he was Wallard, mate. Wallard. If you don't know EastEnders, then yeah, it's back in the day. I don't watch anymore, but that'll do for that. Some interesting facts in there. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like my drawing. Yeah. I feel like my colouring job. Yeah, I feel like it turned out okay. So it's not amazing, but you know, it's like memorable of when I was like 6. You know, levels to this, levels. But yeah, I feel like it turned out okay. And yeah, it's a good film to watch if you've not watched it, and that's the thing with these. Yeah, I've not had any feedback, so people might hate these, but I feel like these will be something that could turn out to be good either way, and something for me to do. So even if one person that doesn't comment or like but is watching and enjoying this, and that's you. Thanks for that. Yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate you. Also, yeah, you're welcome. Some nice, pencil sounds. Me just chatting a load of balonus. about the film, a little bit about the film. A little bit. Just give you my, some interesting facts that you might not have known before. But yeah, I thought it was a good film. I liked the subject matter. It was quite interesting. Like I say, I quite like that period. And like I say, I'd definitely give Spartacus. The whole, like, it delves more into, like, the whole, like, Gladiator kind of theme. Whereas, yeah, I'm almost certain, I bet you were inspired by this film. It's kind of like builds on the subject matter, and I feel like it's probably even more authentic than to the subject matter. But I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just rambling. I'm not really sure. If you got any tips or suggestions or advice that you want to offer up about these types of videos, if you are enjoying them, which if you got to this point, you must be pretty happy with what I'm doing. So that's all right. But if I could make them better, and you think, oh, you're missing out, you should be doing that, then let me know. I'll leave you with, let's bring it up, yeah. Are you not entertained? It's classic. My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix legions, and loyal servant to the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son and husband to a murdered wife. And I will have my vengeance in this life, or the next, or the next, or the next. My vengeance. Those giraffes, that's quite funny as well. Those giraffes, at my signal, unleash hell. At my signal, unleash hell. Brothers, unleash hell, brothers. Those giraffes you sold me, they weren't mate. They just walk around eating and not mating. Learn from me, I was not the best because I killed quickly. I was the best because the crowd loved me. Win the crowd and you will win your freedom. He sleeps so well because he is loved. Yeah, so thanks for your support on these, because I sleep so well these days. Sleep so well. Especially watching other ASMR helps. When was the last time you were home, Maximus? 2 years? 264 days in this morning? Oh, Culture Mag mentions. What? Sometimes I do what I want to do. The rest of the time, I do what I have to. I'll give you one more. Of that main quote, yeah. My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix legions, and loyal servant to the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next. Anyway, hopefully this video was not too bad. If you want to know what next week's film is going to be, it is Forrest Gump. I've never actually watched it, so I'll be watching it for the first time, and it's here in the list, and it's a classic. I do know the quote though, which the actual thing is based off that livestock, tobacco, chocolates, and all that. But yeah, if you want to watch it, so we're on the same page, literally, then yeah, that's what's next. But yeah, Forrest Gump. He's about a guy that runs right. I don't know. We'll see. I've never watched it. And like I say, if you've ever got any suggestions for a video that's specific about some kind of topic or whatever that you want, let me know and I'll give it a go. Oh yeah. Anything left to say is from me to you to have a great day. Have a great day. I really hope that you have a great day. Have a great day. I really hope you do have a great day. And without further ado, I'll say to you, cheers, all the best. Pencil behind the ear. God bless. See you later.